Hey there, welcome back to Sync, the weekly gaming news show where we provide a TLDR, no BS recap of what's been going on in the gaming industry for July 28th through August 4th. My name's Andy, your guide to the news, and let's get episode 37 underway. Halo Infinite's multiplayer will be free to play, aiming for 120 FPS. After a curious leak from an early product page, Microsoft has confirmed that their upcoming Halo Infinite will have its multiplayer go free to play, a first for the series, and possibly other than Warzone, a first for games of this caliber. They have also confirmed that the game will be able to reach 120 FPS on the Xbox Series X, a mind-boggling number that has us questioning what sort of TVs will even be able to take advantage of that feature. Monitor gamers rise up. Very exciting news, especially considering PC day one, so stay tuned for how the game actually looks multiplayer-wise. That's all we're missing to be drooling over this completely, more or less. Microsoft rebrands Game Pass. Leading off of that first story, on top of multiple rumors as of late, Microsoft has officially confirmed a rebrand of Xbox Game Pass, dropping Xbox from the service, adding fuel to the flames of an upcoming shift in service changes for the Xbox brand. It is seemingly possible Xbox Live Gold will become free or tied into Game Pass, as many of the rumors have been suggesting, but this switch in naming also implies a more cross-platform approach to their business, as Phil Spencer has suggested previously. We'll have to wait and see about this speculation, but they certainly have some things cooking with these alternative business models as per Halo. Beyond Good and Evil film in development. Shifting gears completely, The Hollywood Reporter had a scoop on a new film adaptation of Beyond Good and Evil, Ubisoft's sci-fi cult classic from Michael Ansel, concerning a photojournalist getting wrapped up in an underground resistance in a futuristic. Detective Pikachu director Rob Letterman will be taking the reins on this project as director. As the search for writers begins, Ubisoft's own film and television department will be taking a role in production on this film. All exciting news. But of course we're waiting on news of that new prequel title that's been teased so much, and hopefully this is a show of what's to come. That is, concrete details. Ubisoft and Netflix team for Splinter Cell anime. The Hollywood Reporter again reports that John Wick writer Derek Kolstad will be taking on an anime adaptation of Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, a classic stealth action franchise from Ubisoft, concerned with the exploits of Sam Fisher, an agent for a program called Third Echelon. The games are classics from the PS2 and a little more modern, but Ubisoft has struggled to find a place for Fisher in their modern era. Hopefully we'll see more of him soon in playable form, but this show will certainly be cool as well. Epic Games Store adds achievements and mod support. The Epic Store has announced that achievements have rolled out in certain titles, and that it is a work-in-progress feature that will expand and change over time. On top of this, they've announced a beta version of a new feature, Epic Games Store Mods, that will work in conjunction for now with only MechWarriors 5 Mercenary. These new features are indicators that they are seriously trying to compete with Steam. It's just too bad they took so long to implement them. Riot shows off new Valorant hero. Riot Games took to Twitter to show some teases for a new hero possibly coming to their hero shooter Valorant. The hero's name is Killjoy, as per leaks recently, and finally have released a trailer to show the character off fully. Killjoy is set up to be turret focused, an interesting path for the game to take, engineer from TF2 Roleplay coming in hot. An exciting and under-available path in Valorant has just become available. Red Dead Online update finally arrives. The long-awaited update we discussed last episode for Red Dead Online has finally landed, and to be honest, it's not what anyone was fully hoping for. Legendary animals were added to the online Western open-world game, alongside them a new profession, the Naturalist. With that also came a new Outlaw Pass, and tweaks and changes to the core game, such as an update to how the wardrobe system functions in the game. Hopefully Red Dead will take a solid form sooner rather than later. Bioware announces loot plans for Anthem. Bioware has begun discussing their actual cold fact plans for rebooting their oft-maligned shooter Anthem, and one portion of their approach is going to be the game's loot system. The team has taken to the blog to announce that they will be designing loot tables for encounters, designating rewards for specific quests, and specialized vendors. So basically it sounds like they're finally starting development. Other plans for announced, and we're hopeful for the game, but come on. Warframe Heart of Deimos expansion. Digital Extremes had to take their yearly conference online, hosting this year's TennoCon 2020 for the couch famous among Warframe fans. The team opened up the conference with a trailer for Hydroid Prime, a long-awaited look at a highly anticipated new addition to Warframe's roster. Alongside this announcement came the first trailer and gameplay preview of Deimos, the heart of the next expansion and the newest open-world experience coming to this title. With a ton of lore and story beats scattered throughout, it's well worth checking out. The developers at Digital Extremes highlighted the upcoming new player experience and a new function to move Warframe abilities around, but I'll leave that one out since we're heading into some deep spoiler territory, and if you want to learn more you can check out the blog post down below. Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord Development Update. Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord has released on early access near the start of this past year and has slowly started ironing out bugs and responding to community feedback. A major indication of this came in the form of a development update video posted by the developers detailing the upcoming UI and multiplayer changes coming soon to Bannerlord. First off, a ton of quality of life improvements are being added in terms of conversations and battle preparation set to speed up all interactions within the game. Multiplayer will also be receiving crossplay between the Epic Store and Steam through an all-new in-game naming convention along with clans, and a few changes to Siege mode. If you'd stayed away from this title previously, it might be worth another peek. Final Fantasy XIV Update, Overhaul, and a Final Fantasy XI Update. While Shadowbringers continues on after its release last summer, the upcoming 5.3 release was delayed slightly due to the current world event, and is now set for release in the coming weeks. This update will bring more of the Yorha Near collaboration raids, a revamped starter system that allows free-to-play players to play through all of A Realm Reborn, the game's first expansion, and reach level 50. Alongside the Final Fantasy XIV update, the original Final Fantasy XI Online is also receiving a massive update with a new class, the Beastmaster, and new items and abilities. It's fascinating to see both of these games succeed after their long histories. Diablo Immortal trailer. Don't you guys have phones? The words heard around the world after the announcement of Diablo Immortal at BlizzCon back in 2018. The internet fully took a swing at Blizzard for their, quote, out-of-season April Fool's joke so harshly that this trailer was only released in Chinese at the China Joy 2020 conference. The graphics do look pretty impressive for a mobile device, but that isn't saying much nowadays as phones are up there with pretty okay computers. And the gameplay is as simplified as a mobile title needs to be. Nothing particular looks bad, but with this title, it's definitely left its stain on the Diablo franchise and will never be forgotten. Fall Guys beta weekend and release date. Having finished up its last beta test this weekend, the highly anticipated Battle Royale meets American Ninja Warrior title, Fall Guys, hit Steam and the Epic Game Store today, August 4th. Receiving across-the-board good reviews, this cartoonish blob-filled romp through several challenges progressively working your way toward a crown really caught the attention of our staff, and a few of us seized on the test this past weekend. We can't wait for all of you to get your hands on it and join us as we all duke it out in Fall Guys. PlayStation Network Emulation and a PS3 Emulator. The PS3 emulator, RPCS3, announced one of the coolest things to come out of the scene in a while: full PlayStation Network emulation within the emulator, along with compatibility for all PSN services and games in the future. Currently, the team got it fully working with Demon's Souls and Bomberman, both titles that lose a lot when taken completely offline. And more work will need to be done on the project in the coming months. It took over a year of work on this project, so if it's something that you want to support, the team does have a Patreon. Battletoads release date. Bane of the famous silver and gold pawn shop, Battletoads has finally returned to our modern lives, and not through emulation. Microsoft has announced that the new title in the franchise from our friends over at Rare will be for purchase and on Game Pass on August 20th for both the PC and Xbox One. The new title will include more options for difficulty, a welcome addition, screw that flying stage, more co-op possibilities, and more Battletoads goodness. Guys, the game sells itself. Microsoft Flight Simulator previews. While Microsoft has started sending out early review copies for the new Flight Simulator title, fans have started uploading these amazing videos of impressive flybys of real-life locations. The Flight Simulator is now pulling data from Microsoft's immense geographic database and recreated vast swaths of Earth. Their goal is to have this level of fidelity everywhere, even in the most remote areas. Microsoft Flight Simulator is up now for pre-order on the Microsoft Store and Steam and launches on August 18th. NFL 2K snags player licensing. NFL 2K Football will finally have players' information and names in it when it relaunches next year after several years of being on the back burner. This deal comes after negotiations with the NFLPA, or NFL Players Association, an organization created back in the early 2000s to settle player name rights and payments for players' likeness, something that before this point was used willy-nilly with no rights or royalties paid at all. After a deal with EA in 2005, all hope was lost for the 2K Football series, but it seems that the time has finally come for someone to dethrone the ultimate team football king and give players what they really want, a real American football game. GeForce Now adds Steam integration. After a few months of ups and downs for GeForce Now, some publishers are finally returning to the platform, with Riot, Epic Games, and Ubisoft all returning most of their titles to the game streaming service. Alongside those changes came the most desired feature of them all, the ability to link your Steam account with GeForce Now to see what titles are available to you. Personally, this took what I thought was a relatively small library of available titles to over 70 I could now stream, with a good chunk of them either being AAA titles or things that I normally would want to play. GeForce Now might be the best streaming service currently on the market, but with the release of xCloud this fall, we will have to wait and see. Alright everyone, that's Sync for July 28th through August 4th. If you haven't subscribed yet, but you'd like to, you know where that button is. Lastly, let us know what games you've been playing down in the comments, and leave us a like if you like what we're doing here. Once again, thank you for watching, and before we go, here's some pictures of trees sent in from the several members of the Sync staff, and we apologize for the delay. A little bit of no internet, no power can lead to some no editing, but we will see you next time here at Sync.